Hey mom, I did a thing. Hey mom, hey mom. Hey mom, how's it going? Hi mom. So, how's that weather, right? No. So, mom, okay, how are you? How are you doing today, mom? Ma, okay, you got it. Just focus. Okay, so just, mom, I have something to tell you. Okay. Hey, mom. So I dropped out today. Did I drop out of college? Let's talk about some things. If you are new to the channel, my name is Faith and I'm from Chicago, and I decided to move 16 hours away, halfway across the country, to go to college when I was 18. I moved out alone and I went to a small town in the South where I literally knew no one. I, in my brain, justified this because I never really wanted to go to like the traditional like school route, and I knew that I was a very free spirit and I just loved traveling. So I was like, well, if I go to college like in a beach town, then I'm essentially traveling all the time. So that was like my trade-off for going, right? But I didn't really know what to expect or what that meant, and I really didn't think it through. And I ended up facing a lot of challenges that I would have never ever guessed until, just doing it. I ended up staying for the full time except for this last semester, my senior year. I decided to drop out and I only had 32 days of classes left, but it'd be 2 months of living there, and I dropped out. I called my mom one morning and I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm coming home. I dropped out. Now you might think this was a bit extreme or dumb or inconsiderate or like a waste of money. I did post a TikTok about it and I got a lot of hate for it. A lot of people saying, waste of money, you shouldn't have dropped out, you should have just stuck it out, like wow, what a wimp, like you got that far. So let's give you some context. I went to school for exercise science, as a lot of people do. It's a cool degree, kinesiology. And then I had a minor in marketing, but we'll come back to the minor. So exercise was my whole life. I was a personal trainer since I was 18. I've been competing in bodybuilding competitions since I was 17. And I went to the gym every day, and then now my major was that, right? So I'm a type of person that just loves to learn. I also have always had straight A's in school. Like I had a 4.5 GPA, top 5% of my graduating class. I wasn't struggling with classes is my point. So I went to this school on a full academic scholarship. So I had a full ride, so I wasn't paying tuition. So I didn't waste any money with tuition, if that makes sense. The only thing I was paying was my rent, and I was living alone, which this was the first year I was living completely alone. The other years I had a roommate. I also at this point had figured out what I wanted to do with my life. And I didn't necessarily need the degree for it, and also just it was in Alabama. Being in Alabama was actually just dumb business-wise. I wasn't able to meet any business connections, I wasn't able to network, I wasn't able to do anything, versus being in the city in Chicago, there's so many people, so many connections, so many business opportunities. And from the outside, dropping out of college can seem like a very dumb decision, and it can seem lazy or unmotivated, but the truth is, I actually did it for the opposite. It was because I was so motivated and because I was so passionate about pursuing my career, and being where I was, it was blocking that. And the thought of being in that place for 2 whole more months, like I couldn't see an end to it. Like I hated every single day being there. When I had first moved down there, I went through a spell of a deep depression, which I had never experienced before. So let's talk about mental health with like moving away to college, especially when you're so far away from home that you're not able to like visit. I didn't know that it was like okay to not be okay. Like my parents aren't the type of parents that like believe in mental health, and so I had never known what depression or anxiety was. Like I was always very mentally stable my entire life, and then I went there and I got so depressed. It was the deepest depression that I'd ever experienced, but I didn't even know what it was because I'd never felt that way before, so I just ignored it. And in my mind, it wasn't okay for me to leave. Like, I had to be there for 4 years. So I was just like stuck there in my mind, you know, like I didn't have another choice. And it really just felt like prison. It was a very depressing time in my life. And then I think this past year, I finally realized it's your life. Like, you can genuinely do whatever you want to do. And that never really occurred to me. Knowing that, and knowing what I wanted to be doing in life, and knowing that I loved to learn, and knowing that the place that I was in was holding me back from all of the above options, I decided that I had had enough. Now, I finished out paying my rent, right? So that was the only money that I lost in this decision. And then I just stopped that semester, right? So I lost those credits. But again, I did pay for them. Oh, this semester, I still have a couple of classes that I'm taking online to finish off like my whatever. And in the summer, I'm gonna transfer the credits and find somewhere online to just finish off the degree anyways. So I'm still going to get the degree, most likely. But the point is that a lot of people were giving me hate for it, right? Because they only saw the outside. They only saw this girl just dropped out of her senior year of college. Like, why would you do that? And a lot of people will also say, like, you're gonna get nowhere without a degree. Like, please just finish a degree. All this stuff. But the thing is that I'm not belittling education, but I wasn't learning anything, period. Everything that they had taught me in school, I learned when I was 18 years old through personal training. Because it was an exercise science degree. School was actually hindering my time and ability to be growing and learning. And that bothered me. That bothered me so much. And it just took a strong mindset and a strong character to recognize, A, what I wanted to be doing in life, and B, what I was currently doing wasn't that. I really had to lock in and ignore what everyone else was telling me, because I asked so many people. I asked my parents, I asked my friends, I asked so many people, like, should I stay in school? Should I finish it out? Like, what do I do? Like, I'm not happy here. Like, I don't want to finish. You know, I was struggling, and everyone told me, stay in school, just finish it out, Faith, but it's not their life. It is no one's life but your own. That's what you have to understand, because your decisions will only affect you at the end of the day. Someone can give you advice, but still the decision that you make doesn't affect them. So you really just have to do what is best for you. Even if you don't necessarily know what that is, sometimes you just have to don't stop moving. The second that you stand still is when, you know, you kind of get stuck or you get comfortable. You know, we're gonna see what this next year brings, but I really felt like I needed to address it in a video of my decision, to just give you guys some guidelines of where I'm at in life right now. I'm back home, by the way. I've not regretted the decision one singular day. Like, I am so beyond happy now, and I'm grateful for every single day, and I love being with my family. You don't get a lot of time with your family, especially as you get older, so I love being with them. I love all of the friendships and relationships that I've built here since already being back for a couple of months. Sometimes you might not see the light at the end of the tunnel of whatever situation you might be going through, but whatever it is, just know that it will work itself out, and that you just need to do what is best for you at the end of the day, and it doesn't matter what anyone else says. Life's weird, man. But everything's gonna work out. It always does.